Yeah, I sent you a happy birthday. Hey, Dustin, how's it going? Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Dustin? I need to get the headset. And happy birthday to the Dustin. Cool. Okay, loud and clear, so we don't need to get the headset. All right, cool beans. I don't know who's else in here. How's everybody doing? Who's coming in? I'm just gonna shoot some shiz for probably about 30 minutes, and then I need to get in the bunk and pass out. I got a new hat. I don't know if you can really see it because it's ouch. Scratch myself. It's got a fish on it. I got several new hats, but this is one of many. With that fish on it. I like the fish. I haven't done fishing in for a long time, but I like the fish. Hey, trucker, helper, help, half pinter. Yeah, that's never half pinter. I remember you. How you doing, man? Thank you. Y'all got some new lids. I'll probably do a lid video. Um, the AT&T phone is in. Hey, Chicago BBW, what's up? Joyce Miller, yeah, everybody. Dustin's birthday is today, so shout him out with a happy B-Day, Mr. Dustin. They should give us some free crap, Dustin, on birthdays. As much money as truckers spend at truck stops. We should be able to go like Diddy's and get a free damn meal. Go and get a free hat, free something. No, I'll do a video on some of the hats I got because y'all know I don't know if y'all know, but I've been loving baseball caps even before trucking. So I've always loved baseball caps. I'm a big cap person. I want to get this new hat. I done seen it. Like, I don't know if y'all remember not Indiana Jones. It was Indiana somebody. It was one of the guys. I think he was hey, NATO B, what's up? It's the dude. He had Crocodile Dundee. He had the crocodile. I want to get one of that similar to that, but it's like leather and it's got a little braided strap. I'm gonna order one of those. But I like hats. 30 child, you better, you know what? I just had what is her name? She's with Prime. Oh my god. See her face right now. Anyway, she's on there talking about her gray hair on Facebook. And I was like, girl, please, you better thank Jesus for them. Every gray hair is a piece of wisdom. I got some up there too. And I'm even starting to get gray eyelashes and gray eyebrows. So you better thank him because and if you get them, you better have some wisdom and not be like Grumpy Smurf. And be an old person. What they say, no fool like an old fool. Don't be an old fool. Where's everybody at in the country? I'm in Wisconsin. On my way back to Lubbock after I pick the load up sometime either tomorrow or the next day. I'm going to see if I can load me early tomorrow. You know, Dustin, that's a good thing. It's a good thing. You do look a lot younger because I remember when you did your video, when you were running a little channel. And you do look younger than your 30s. And that's a good thing. All right, NATO B, you in Ohio? NATO, I don't know if I told you this. I had an uncle. He had married my grandfather's sister. Talk about the surgeries here in a second. Because I'm going to come to that. Because I just saw Trucker Diva. She did that weight loss surgery like you. And she was having some problems, some complications with hers. I lived in Columbus for about a year as a little girl with my aunt and uncle. And my uncle owned a dump truck business out there. Made quite good money. His name was Merville Nolan. I don't know the name of the trucking business though. And I lived in Columbus, Ohio. for about a year as a little girl. I don't know all the details on how and why I went out there, but I do remember being out there for a little bit. My introduction to the White Castle burger, which is your friend. And we are finally getting, see, I think it's White Castle or Crystal. We getting one of those in Arizona finally after all these years. We, we have a burger company called Chicago something, Chicago Dogs or something like that. And they do a damn good slider too, in Phoenix. And then on Indian School in like 32nd Street, if I remember correct, 32nd and 40th Street. And they do a damn good. I used to go when I was working at the brokerage firm. They do a damn good slider. I'm just saying. Um, but Dustin on the surgeries, we'll be praying that everything works out okay for you. Let's see here. And then let's see what else. Chicago BBW, you know where you at. Trucker Half Pinter, where you at, man? Joyce Miller, what's up? Just going back, make sure I ain't miss nobody. And Dustin said you guys should be able to hear me okay. I'm still on Ghetto Mobile, AT&T. As soon as I get back to Lubbock, we'll get it activated. My Galaxy Note is in the back. I got to get the, what do you call it? I've got to get the SIM card to put in there and activate it. And then I'm not bridging this number initially, but I'll be bridging this number later. I don't know if I'm going to bridge it. I might bridge this number to a tablet. The thing is that I remember a friend of mine being able to make phone calls from his tablet. I got to figure out if there's a way to do that. If it is, then I'll probably put this number on there. The company can call this number. That's the number on him. I'm just shooting the shit. So the channel has hit 1,000. So we're actually able to use the YouTube live stream, which is a good thing. My truck is a hot mess right now. Really, y'all. I'm just gonna show you. That's the seat over there. My seat don't ever look like that. With this restaurant, all my stuff is over here. Dirty clothes are down in the bottom. Cause I usually have a trash can down on the floor over there in the Freightliner, but in this truck I don't have that kind of room. So usually the trash can sits in the middle, and then when I get up to go to bunk, I have to move it to a seat because this is my little walkway. So okay, good. That's I'm thinking about. That's gonna be my next move is the iPad tablet. He's deceased now, so I think it was a personal business. They had no kids, which might be why my aunt and uncle really wanted to try to keep me. They didn't have any children at all. I don't know if she couldn't have children. I don't know all the details, but they did not have any kids. They did have a nice fat house though. The house was real nice, and then they had like something built on where they actually had a rental attached to the property, and they had a live-in person that cleaned the house and cooked and all that stuff for my aunt. So yeah, he was doing quite well. Uncle Merle did quite well. He was a very frugal man, but he did quite well with that dump truck business. How old was I? I wasn't even in grade school yet. So you're asking me something, I only remember portions of it. I don't remember the snow, but they've got pictures of me in the snow in Columbus. And back in the day, your mom got you dressed up. I don't know if y'all remember. No, Uncle Merville was, so if you listen to my family video, remember I said that Miss Pearlie's brother married my grandfather's sister. Obita, but my aunt, whose name was Obita. Obita was my aunt, my blood aunt, on my mother's side, and she would be my great aunt, my mother's aunt, my grandfather's sister. Merville was Miss Pearlie's brother, and that's why I call Miss Pearlie an aunt by marriage, but we always just called her Miss Pearlie. I don't remember a lot. I know there's some pictures of me that my biological mother sent me, and I remember back in the day, I don't know if y'all remember having the white vinyl boots, like the little, the disc. I don't call them disco. What was that back in the day? Like the psychedelic kind of look, and the kind of right as the 60s, and everybody, they doing that kind of weird ass dance. I had the boots, the girl boots that went up to the go-go boots. That's it, the go-go era. So I had some go-go, the white vinyl go-go boots, and they dressed you up all girly. And my hair was, and that's what I tell people, they see my hair short now, but because my hair is receding, because the women on my mother's side, they lose hair. So as I've gotten older, in my 40s, I lost hair. So no, this is my mom's aunt, my great aunt. They actually had the business. They're her husband. So they had the business there, and I said I stayed for about a year. Um, and then I remember flying out, and um, I've been through Columbus several times. Actually, we still have family there. We have a cousin there who is a retired school teacher. I forgot what hers. I think, and some of them are in trucking. So I'm gonna turn the truck on because it is cold. It's getting cold. I'm gonna turn the heat on up here. I need to turn on in the bunk, but I'm not in the bunk yet. I'm gonna be going to the bunk though. AC off, heat on. Okay, got the heat come on because it's getting cold. I'm gonna put the heat at like 80. It got cold last night. I'm here in Wisconsin. I delivered to a Kroger facility called Roundy's. And one thing I do say is I prefer delivering the grocery chains. I don't want to turn this to where I control it a little bit more so it's not so loud. Can y'all hear me okay? Hey, Mandisa, what's up? Yeah, I delivered to, can y'all still hear me okay? Because I turned the truck on. Y'all hear me okay? If not, I'll put the headset in. Um, I delivered to, but I know, back to Columbus. Okay, sorry to hear that, NATO. Okay, cool. All right. Okay, cool. Yeah, I turned the truck on to get some heat in here. What is the temperature out? Temperature just dropped to 58. It was at 68 today up here in Wisconsin. Last night, I think it got to like 40, 30s. It got chilly. I had to put I was at Roundy's, which is a Kroger grocery chain, and I had my sweatshirt on, I had to put the blue jacket on, and then on top of that, they require you to wear your safety vest. I had that on, and I had a shirt underneath, my sweatpants, and y'all, I'm down to one pair of drawers. I'm just gonna lie, clean drawers. I am down to one pair. They have a laundry facility here, but it's only like one washer, one dryer, and I'm kind of in the well, I'm it's the way it's set up that it's not really truckers have made like a designated place in front of where the fuel aisle is. Had I known, I would have parked there when I first got here. I didn't know that was there. Then I would have walked maybe a laundry load in. But I'm in the back of the restaurant, and then in the front is the travel plaza. So I have to walk past the restaurant to the travel plaza with dirty clothes. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna find it on the way. I'll be in Lubbock on Monday, maybe sooner, and I can just find somewhere and get laundry. Right now, my sweats are okay. I can do a small load somewhere, but I wasn't gonna go through all that today. I still got some clean underoos, so I'll do that for now. Um, but no, Roundy's today. I had to deliver yesterday, and when I got there, they left a pallet on the truck today, so we had a little bit of drama. They didn't even tell me, and it just luckily I looked back. So for those of you who do this and you do reefer or whatever, if you leave before you leave a facility, always double check the trailer. They pushed it so far back to the bulkhead, I really didn't see it because it was like coming up morning, and something just said, "Go back there and look at that again." And I shined the light in there, and when I shined the light, I saw this pallet sitting dead square in the middle. They wouldn't say anything. They wouldn't have said one word. And if you leave the facility, it's your problem. So at that point, because I saw it and then I addressed them, and then they were like, "Oh, well, it was supposed to be organic lettuce instead of regular lettuce." Y'all can take that pallet. Yeah, you need to talk about to the shipper. So I ended up, look, this boy big, he big like me. I ain't mad at him. Hold on. Y'all gonna see him walking around. Let me see if y'all can see him walking. See the big boy? He big like me. I can't even talk about him. Okay, he done been up in the restaurant. This is like the second time he done gone up there. I ain't mad at him. That restaurant damn good. He probably going for dinner. He was up in there earlier with me. I couldn't fit no dinner. I kind of finished off my steak. I had that. That was my finished dinner. Because if I go back, the only thing I really want is they have a chicken and dumpling soup. Y'all, Jesus spoke when he made that. When he made that soup, he said it was good. Shoot. But yeah, they left the Palomers and I had to wait for that. I've just figured out how to use personal convey over here. So I got, how many hours am I at? 21 hours. So 13 hours, I will be on a reset. Almost 22 hours. So about 12 hours, I'll be at a reset. I'll head out. What time is it right now? Yeah, what time is it? Chicken and dumplings, one of my top favorite. 9. So I'll be out in the morning around 9. So, but and then I gotta head to Wisconsin, pick up. Well, I'm in Wisconsin, head further into Wisconsin, pick up some cheese that's going back to Lubbock to the other grocery store that we deliver for, and deliver that there. And then the truck's got to go in the shop. One of my pedals, when I press it, it's working, but it makes this. It's almost like a hollow. It's like a hollow squeal sound, like a child or a dog's toy. So I'm gonna have to check it out. The pedal's working. I mean, it's doing what it's supposed to do. But I need them to check that out because I don't know what that is, and I've never heard a truck do it. I heard it when I first got the truck, and I thought, well, maybe it's just because it's new. It was periodically happening, but it's increased in frequency. And you've got the DOT blitzes coming up, I think May or June. So I want to make sure everything's good. And because I run between Lubbock and Cali, you can get pulled in for an inspection in Cali at any time. So I want to make sure it's good. Other than that, so far the company, I'm liking them. The last couple of paychecks have been good. This paycheck, I don't know how much because I didn't get as many miles on this one. I only got like 1,600 in. I mailed that in. Overnight trip box with the load for today. We don't have the scanning. I can't stand it. It would make things so much easier. So you have to trip pack everything, but your trip pack has to arrive by the day it's due. Well, today is the due day, and there's no way your trip packs overnight. There's no way in hell this load would have got in time. It would have arrived till tomorrow. So it'll be on the next check, which is okay because it's going to be. It was a big run up here, and it'll be a big run back to Texas. A lot of miles, but it should still be. My check should still be a pretty damn decent little check. Because I got 3 stops on that check, and they give us percentage of the stops. So something with the percentages they give us for stops, which is not bad. So each stop I could get paid anywhere from 70 to 150, depending on what they've negotiated with the shipper and whoever booked the freight. So yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, but anyway, if any of you are truckers and you come to this Wisconsin area, this is I think off I-94, and it's called Pinecone Travel Center. Very good. And they like put the desserts up so you can see what the desserts look like. There's an island in the truck. I put the desserts up so you guys can see what the desserts look like. You know what? Hold on. I can stop that. I found a trick. If you want the truck to idle, what you can do, make sure your 8 trailer brakes are out, and that holds the truck as long as it's not bad weather. Because I normally don't unlock my trailer brakes. But you activate your trailer brakes and push in your parking brake for your yellow brake, and the truck will idle without knocking off. At least this one will. I don't know if the other companies have said something different, but I let my trailer brakes hold the entire truck. And then before I go to bed tonight, I'll pop it on. If I'm sitting up here in the front and I know it's not going to slide, yeah. So anyway, they left the pallet on there. We got that rectified. So now I'm doing my reset. And then they told me the load I'm supposed to pick up on the 26th in the morning. Child, I'll be up in there tomorrow morning because I'm only an hour and change away. You talking about Lubbock? NATO? I think most of Texas has a lot of racial issues, but you talking about Lubbock? NATO, are you talking about Lubbock, Texas? I don't know how to put this. So y'all know I'm pretty real. I stayed in Lubbock working for Wells Fargo about 2011. It was a bit culture shock for me because being from Arizona does. I think there's racism in all parts of the U.S. Okay, let's just go there. But the level of racism really is dependent up on where you are in the country. I hate to say that, it just really is. So with California, you may have racism there, but they have such a liberal view in California. That's not something I normally worry about. Okay, now I'm getting hot. Let's turn it down there. Turn it off. Um, it's not something that I normally worry about in California. Because they're so liberal, you don't really, most people are cool, laid back, but you still have some racial stuff. Arizona, we also have racial issues in Arizona. Our racism is more under the carpet, and it is very, it's apparent. You gotta know when you're dealing with it. And I've had it happen at companies that I work for. I've been discriminated against for being African American and for the alternative lifestyle I was in at one point. I actually ended up, they basically tried to set me up at one of the jobs that I worked at just because of what my sexual orientation was or what they believed it to be. It was not something I ever discussed, but they did some dirty stuff, okay? And they used that as part of their dirt. Shortly thereafter, I came into trucking because I was like, I was so burnt out. I'm like working my ass off and people doing just malicious stuff. I moved to Texas and I stayed there for, like I said, I had come out of trucking and went back working in a corporate environment, worked at Wells Fargo out there in Lubbock. For me, it was overwhelming. And I'm going to say this, I have no other way I can put it. The blacks seem to be yes-a master blacks. I'm sorry. That is how I felt. I felt like it was like I had stepped back in time. My father is kind of a yes-a master. I just noticed how he responds sometimes to certain people, and I didn't expect that of him. But if they were white or any other nationality in a position of authority, like his apartment complex manager that he was under at this other complex, it was a slumlord manager, her and some of the people, it was almost like a yes, a master kind of thing. And I also noticed that when he deals with white people in the Lubbock area, it kind of bothers me. But I also know not only him, I just noticed that seems to be the behavior of certain people in that area. Was I discriminated against in Lubbock? I don't feel that I was, but I knew, hey, Peaceful Journey, I feel that you need to be very cautious of how you interact with them. Even at the company I'm at now, which is predominantly, there's nobody of any minority status in the office. No Latinos, and pretty much the only people in the office are his family, and he's the other guy who I call kind of like second in command, the one I report to those two. Now in the shop, there are Latinos working in the shop, reporting to some other relative who runs the shop. He runs it that way because, and I get that the owner is very much kind of a control freak and very micromanaging. So what he is doing, and sometimes you need to run your business that way. He's making sure his business is in order. It goes back to what Oprah Winfrey told Halle Berry. Sign your own damn checks. You don't let people walk away with your money because you're not handling your own business. This is your money. You work for it. You earned it. So what I get about him is he's micromanaging because Bill was trying to call me, y'all. Sorry we got interrupted. I just declined him. I would probably be very much the same way. But I get kind of, and I'm still very polite. It's a Southern thing, too, is that yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, Miss Shan or something like that, Miss Trucker Doll. It would not be Mr. Michael or Mr. David. That would be how you try to show a little respect. And that's a Southern thing. But I do get that feeling, and I got even some of that in working for the company. I think micromanaging, and I felt as if the whites try to talk down to the blacks. And I even picked that up here. Sometimes I have to be careful because, like my dad's like, I really want to help them with some of their office stuff because their office stuff could be so much easier. And I was like, well, tell them that you use. No, because I can already tell by how it is here in Lubbock with their category either. So if this is how they run their business, let them run their business how they run it. I'm out here to drive this truck, and that's they're not a company that's probably looking like how the big boys are trying to ask for feedback and be more corporate and trying to get interaction from their driver. This company ain't that. It's pretty much this how I run my company, and I will pay you well, and that he does. He pays us quite well. The lady who referred me in, she told me you're going to make good money there. You'll make money with them. I get paid very well. I mean, better than any trucking company I've ever worked for, and I've got damn good equipment. They're hands down. Brand new truck, 25 miles on it. Damn good equipment. But I do get a feeling that a lot of the blacks, Latinos, are very yes a master kind of situation, and that is disconcerting to me. It bothers me, but it's what's that old saying? It's they squirrel. It's your world. I'm just a squirrel trying to get my little nut. So, I'm trying to get my cash, and that's how they run their state. Lubbock is not somewhere I plan on probably being for, God hopes, for a long period of time. The goal has been to always buy some property and be somewhere else. I really like the hill country of Texas. I love working for this company, but again, I'm 50 years old, so do I know I'm going to be here for 10 years? No, I doubt that. What am I going to do? I have no idea, because right now I know he only hires out of the Plainview, Lubbock area. Now, there is a little city called Spur that I was interested in. They're selling property to tiny homes. They're about an hour outside of this area as well, outside of Lubbock. So that is a possibility that I could stay working here, buy my property there, put my tiny house up, and get my little farming, homesteading going. But I haven't been to that community. So that's the only thing that is a little disconcerting living in the Texas area. But I don't think that Lubbock is the only one. Like Dallas, I hate Dallas. When I was with Werner, my experience was very much, and I hate to say very redneck in the Dallas area at that Werner terminal. The two first driver trainers I had, high redneck, and both I think had racial issues, as well as one of them definitely felt that women should be at home cooking. And he was the second guy I had, and that's when I asked for a woman, because the statements he made about his prior trainee, who was a black female, then telling me as a trainee, as a black female, I don't really think this is for you, and maybe being home and, just having a family and, maybe going back to office work would be best for you. I don't think this is for you. Oh, but you're one of the best downshifters I've ever seen. I didn't do the middle finger yet. Crazy as hell. Oh, shit. But I just noticed, and then I had a run-in with one of the people that he was associated with. Some redneck chick came up to me back when I was, God forgive me, when I was back at Werner. And so my time with them was very short-lived. And even the lady who I got as a trainer, she wasn't from the Texas area, but she was from somewhere in New York, like the state of New York. And she had a very unique mindset about life. She had been a bus driver prior. So something I picked up, and again, I think it's more of your southern states, some of the southern mentality, attitude, and I think that a lot of the African Americans or blacks that are there have actually, in order to survive, get along, maybe not have clan type behavior, they pretty much put their tails between their legs, and while they don't say yes to master, the behavior, the demeanor, is very much that. And if there is any intelligence, they're cautious at how they use it in the open area outside of a business, in my opinion. Hold on for a second, let me read this. Yeah, you can tell it. Okay, so I don't know if you guys read NATO's comment. NATO said, yeah, I was born and raised in Southern California, lived in Vegas for a year and a half, then on the Ohio, Pennsylvania border. Didn't experience it until I came to the East Coast. To the East Coast. Okay, yeah, the East Coast is even worse. Same with blacks and Peaceful Journey says same with the blacks in the Carolinas. I agree with that. I've been in the Carolinas, and yes, it is very much the same. Um, and then man, these speak on that. You said if you want to be in the kitchen barefoot in preggers, that is what you would have done. I guess such a yeah. That was very much what that second Werner trainer had indicated. He told me about his girlfriend taking care of his kid at home. Oh, okay, and even her child was some child he had by another woman. Like, okay, she dumb, but okay, that's what she want to. That's what she want to do. So, but no, I have experienced it, and you are right. I think everything you once you go east of the West Coast, that West Coast line, you damn sure experience it. Even in parts of Colorado. Colorado actually, but the blacks don't act that way in Colorado. It's different. But there is a racial undertone in Colorado. But the blacks are just blacks. Um, but in Carolinas, Texas, Alabama, Mississippi, definitely some of the states on the East Coast, probably PA. I'm trying to think where else. Pennsylvania for damn sure. The Virginias. I don't F with the Virginias. There's some barbecue I get there at a place called Smiley's Fuel Cities if I'm in the Virginias. I leave them white folks alone. God forgive me if y'all wait. The ones in West Virginia remind me of Klan people. And yeah, I'm good. I just get my stuff and go. And ain't a yes or master thing. It's just like y'all crazy as hell. So I'm just gonna go get my shit and go because I don't want you to I don't want to be swinging on the rope because I don't be trusting y'all. And yeah, I mean some of them is cool, but you look at it's West Virginia, some of them. And the sad part is some of them are financially struggling. I'm like, how are you so racist? And you living worse than most black folks. Yeah, PA. So I didn't know there were black people in Wisconsin. It's kind of like Utah. I was really shocked that black people were in Utah. I knew black Utah was a Mormon state. I grew up with Mormons, and I knew Mormons were very white centric. So and they got blacks in Utah. They with that black senator in Utah. Her husband's white, and I consider Samoans. Y'all forgive me, Samoan Negroes. Samoan Negroes, because they almost like us with the kinky hair and all that other stuff, and they dark skin. Um, yeah, the West Virginia thing is really bizarre, NATO. I my problem with the West Virginia is that you have a lot of poverty-stricken white people who are living in trailers that are just it's a lot of trailer kind of like lifestyle, and I'm not knocking people because that's what I'm probably gonna get when I'm in my old age, something very similar. But they're living a poverty existence, yet they truly have been indoctrinated with hating African Americans. I mean, they absolutely abhor us. And the sad part is that they're living in sometimes conditions worse than us in most cases. And it's beyond the scope, the level of ignorance. And some of it is education. And some of it is blatant. I'm just going to remain ignorant blatantly. And I keep forgetting what Martin Luther King called it. There's sincere ignorance. There's ignorance sincere. There's another one. It's basically where you blatantly know that what you believe is not correct, but you still gonna believe it anyway. And I forgot what the word is for it. I'll look it up again. I have to look it up one time. Um, but I do believe that Lubbock does have issues. But it's a different, like I said, it's a different group of folk. I remember I was working at Wells Fargo. I went to go and pick up. I like a wood fire pizza. I don't know if you guys have ever had that. I make it myself. When I have my grill, I have like the stone and everything. And eventually when I have my house, I'm going to have a pizza oven built, like an Italian pizza oven where you can do the wood fire. Do all sorts of stuff in there besides pizza. But you can do like wood fire bread, wood fire pizza. You can cook chickens in there. It's amazing what you can do with that wood fire burning. It's an Italian thing, and other cultures do something similar. But I'm getting one built. I was using my smoker grill to do it. You can do the same thing with a stone, which is what I had. I had a piece of stone, and I do that. But I went to this place in Lubbock that does wood-fired pizzas when I was living there in 2011. Got the pizza, took it back to the house for me and my dad, right? When I got to work the next day, I had some left over and I took it in. My supervisor, the chick that I'm kind of friends with, the one who calls me her mentor, she like, where'd you go? And I told her, you went on that side of town? I, am I restricted? Am I restricted from a side of town? Segregate, separate sinks and everything else. So there's separate parts of town. Hey, Audrey, whatever. Just shooting the shiz, man. Just shooting the shiz. Talking about discrimination in the South right now. And if we don't notice that behaviors are different. So that's where we at right now. NATO, I think NATO brought it up. But they have this, this side of town. She's black. And I was like, so I had to ask her, I was like, man, is there, y'all like the Klan or something here that you ain't supposed to go to certain parts of the damn town? Lubbock is 15 minutes in every damn direction. You screwed, man. You might cross the wrong line. He like, he said, yeah, it used to be that's mainly the white area. And, we stay over here more. We don't go to that area of the town as much. So ain't nothing no Klan gonna hang y'all. No, okay. Ain't nobody out with a gun gonna shoot y'all. Ain't no sign saying no blacks allowed. Negro, your money as good as that white man who went in over there. Go get your pizza. Well, I don't even go. They have a Walmart in Lubbock, which I call the ghetto Walmart, because that's where the blacks and Latinos go. And this ghetto is there. And there's a bunch of baby kids running around uncontrolled. You want to whoop their ass, whoop their mama ass for not controlling them. I don't go there. I go all the way down, which is not really 15, 20 minutes from the house. I go to where the big houses where they don't want the blacks and the Latinos at. They charging $300,000 for these homes and more when the property is dirt cheap. Because that's way for them to keep the black folks out. Hi with Choppy Sapa. Like the name. Good evening, people, and welcome to the channel. Dark Star Assassin 7369. What's happening, and welcome to the channel. We just shooting the shiz about discrimination a little bit here. NATO brought the question up about different parts of the country. All right. Love to you too, baby. Thank you. So, for me, the way I've always, Liliquai Moon. What's up, baby? And welcome to the channel. Welcome to the live. Oh, Jose, man. Okay, I didn't know that's you. What's up, baby? That's my boy. That's my homeboy. Like my brother for another mother. I got two Jose's in my life. My boy Joe, which y'all see me at. Y'all say a prayer for my boy Joe. His sister, Mercy, passed away. She had Alzheimer's, and then I guess she fell, and they thought the fall was due to a stroke, and she passed away 3 days ago at 3 a.m. in the morning. So be praying for this. Their name is the Oviedo family. They're in Arizona. You guys have seen me do some foodie videos with him in my older videos. That's the one I usually hang out with when I go to Arizona. It is his sister. And then his little brother has Down syndrome, and he had gotten valley fever. And they had to do a surgery on him recently and put in some rods in his back. And then he's got to go to an ongoing infectious disease doctor. So we've been praying on my prayer group. We've been praying for them outside. And then I just sent the message about his sister passing. I'm gonna talk to him tomorrow. When people pass, I'm a little different. All the people call your neighbors, your friends, but really that family, when you deal with that, they've got to do a lot of immediate arrangements. So I like to wait a little bit, give you a chance to deal with all your stuff, and then call and say, hey man, how you doing? And I've sent him a message via text, and I said, I'm gonna call you tomorrow. One, I've been busy, but you also probably are very busy, because he heads her entire estate. She was very comfortable. So there's commercial property, rental property, stocks, bonds, all that stuff. He's got to handle distribution. He's the head of the trust. So he's got a lot of stuff on his plate. And I told him, I will call you tomorrow, because he's tried to call me. But I also think he needs to focus. And I told him, focus on what you need to do. He needs to focus on his stuff. So That's just you. When you get in those situations, like when people go in the hospital, I like being visited in the hospital, but when you got the family that sits there all damn day, what what you gonna do? Get in the bed with me and pump the oxygen into my? I think it's good to come in and maybe family comes, sit in the room for about 20, 30 minutes, and I need you to go away. I need to take a nap, get my little feel of my drugs or whatever they giving me. I sat in the hospital for like 3 weeks one time, so I trust me. 3 weeks, I trust me. I've been that. Not your friend. Not your friend. I've had several stints in the hospital in my early days. Not your friend. But when you're in there, it's good to have, because you do get lonely and you want to know that somebody cares about you. But after they visit, maybe 20, 30 minutes, maybe an hour at the most, then don't go just sit in the waiting room all day and then keep coming back. Go on and go home, because the only way the person gets well is that they have to sleep. Your body heals when it's rest. That's just what it does. But now he's got to, it's like that. He's going to have to go and deal with a whole bunch of other stuff. But the racist part, I think it's something, and how can I put this? It's like my best friend, she hates Trump. I don't hate him. I actually feel sorry for him, because I know that, like my biological father, he did not become this little grown boy by accident. There's something with how he was reared or not reared that caused him to be that way. Hey, Audrey, what's up? The Jim Crow rules, right? Audrey, it's not a nowadays issue. See, y'all don't got me comfortable. Because I just had this talk with my best friend. She hates Trump. He's bringing, all Trump did was allow what's already been to bubble to the surface. And in my humble opinion, we needed it. I know it sounds crazy. We need it. Because, so I was talking to my father the other day. So I don't know if you guys are not listening to all the politics going on. I listen to politics a lot. And with the whole Mueller report and all that stuff they've been waiting for to show that Russia was meddling in the elections, they also showed, I listened to some other things where they showed that Russia was also messing with different social groups, like Black Lives Matter type groups. And they were creating little groups in order to rile stuff up. Here's a big quote, and it's one of the best, and I believe it's Abraham Lincoln. I think it's him. A house divided against itself cannot stand. Okay? If I'm divided in all different directions, that house cannot stand together to defend itself, to protect itself, to move forward in the greater things it's supposed to do. The problem in America is that we had so many covert issues that were under the carpet, so much dirt that covered up, and you had people, because we did have a different political climate than what we have today, and a different social climate than what we had today, that people kept their mouth shut about certain things they knew were not acceptable. Now, if the highest person in the land can just blatantly flip off and say what the hell ever he wants to, then guess what? So the hell am I. You ain't do nothing to him, so the hell ain't gonna do nothing to me. That's the thought process. Well, what has happened is the house is now against itself, and it's divided in different ways, and it can't stand. But the problem is, had we left the dirt under the carpet and a whole bunch of other stuff, because we haven't dealt with the issues. Now that all the issues are at the surface, we now need to start dealing with them. That's what's going on in our country. So I had said this before, is that we almost need a new civil type war. But at the same time, it's very dangerous, because if we're at war with each other, we're not paying attention to what's going on in the outskirts around us. We're not paying attention to Russia. We're not paying attention to North Korea. We're not truly paying attention to our enemies. And so therefore, the public people within the US, we're so involved in, I hate Trump, I'm racist, I hate this group of people, boop de boop de boop. The black people now are like, well, white people are all bad because you're, so the house is not standing. The problem is we really need to understand first ourselves and what's wrong with us, what's wrong with our viewpoints. So for my African Americans, let me talk to you. We got too caught up in materialism. That's one thing. We got too caught up in trying to be like everybody else. Hey, Larry Smith, what's up, baby girl? We got too caught up. Hey, look, Mill, preparing for the coming. I agree. Okay, me and you on the same page right now because there's some big stuff coming. There's some big stuff coming. Me, okay, we on the same. That's why I want to do homestand. We on the same page. There's some big stuff coming. We're so divided. We're not seeing the big picture of what's going on outside of the U.S. And unfortunately, we're going to be so fighting infighting that we're going to get, because we need to deal with a lot of our issues. Black people, we too busy trying to, like my father, trying to bling, trying to have the hottest car, trying to be like somebody else. We have made materialism our main goal, and so therefore we lost focus as to really how we're viewed in this country. Latinos did the same thing, and what happened is we became entrenched in, I want to say, a materialistic white American ideal, and then because we came from nothing, we idolized that what coming from, or what being something is success, was being able to have a fancy car, or the jewelry you wear on your neck, or the big house you have. None of that is really what success is about. You have some successful, I worked for a major brokerage firm. We had multimillionaires who lived in little houses, and you would have no idea how well off they were. My grandfather, if you would have met him, I'm not saying he was a millionaire, but he was very comfortable. He lived in a little shack house. You would have no idea how much money that man had put away, how much money he was bringing in yearly, because he lived a very humble existence. But we need to be very aware of our situation. And I really believe we need to try to mend fences, and we need to, at best, if you can help people understand, people who are willing to understand their ignorance, like my friend Dean, the story I told of Dean, if you can have those kind of moments with people, it could be life-changing for this country. But if you automatically get on the defensive like we have been getting, and I've noticed it among a lot of us, where, I mean, even on my Facebook page, there's some stuff that's disturbing. We're going back to historical civil rights stuff. That's not happening now, but because of some of the discriminatory attitudes that are out there, we're reaching back to stuff that happened in the past and becoming angry about it instead of trying to mend the fences. We don't have a peacemaker, Martin Luther King, around right now. So unfortunately, people are leaning towards more of an angry side, and it's causing division in the house called America, which is made up of all different nationalities and ethnicities. Instead of trying to, I hate to say, a Rodney King moment, can we all just get along? It's not about that now. I really don't want you here. So you're getting now a division, and we're becoming defensive. But then you still have a group of us who are so materialistic, they just blind to the facts. Especially, I'm going to say anybody younger, like under the 30 age, they're blind to the facts. You know, like right now, I was listening to just polling questions. Their focus isn't on racism, discrimination. Their focus is on healthcare. And what was the other one? It was healthcare, the Medicare healthcare, and there was one other one, I can't remember what it was. The two major issues they were focused on, I think, education and healthcare. They didn't care about the racial stuff. They were interviewing them. I think they were somewhere in Cali. Well, I don't care about that. I don't care about the racial stuff. You need to care about it because it's being used. Sorry, I put that on now. It's being used as a prop to cause, turn this off, as being used as a prop to cause division. And so you need to be concerned about the racial issues, but what can you do to contribute in a positive light? So when you run across a dean, can you try to show him or her something different, so that they say, oh, you know what I learned. Now there's some people who just they're gonna stay in their ignorance. They want to be ignorant. I have to use grumpy. It's like grumpy. You're getting the same results. Definition of insanity, not true definition, but kind of like an Asian definition of it. You're getting the same results with your incontinence. The pull-up drawers you wearing ain't working because you're pissing past those, even with a catheter. You have choices to get something different, but you choose to stay in the foolishness. We need to change. Everybody right now, like, I hate to say it, every kid won't be a hip hop star, or you got these people trying to start clothing lines. We have no originality, and we're not getting on a whole nother page. We gotta come differently, because you want the fat house and the fat car, and it's disturbing. It's very disturbing. Well, look, I don't know if I agree totally with the whole everybody border thing. I can't say I agree with that. I can't say that I totally agree with that. Um, I can't say. I think that has been some propaganda that's been put out. Um, my concern is bigger. I do believe that isn't. I do believe we do need to do something about the borders. Don't get it twisted. But I don't want to say that some of the people that are coming over for what do you call it, trying to either get a better life or escape their countries. I can't say I believe that all of those are. Um, I can't say I believe that a good majority of those are really. Do I think that there's some bad people in there? There very well could be. It wouldn't be shocking. It would be probably the smartest way a terrorist could get in, unfortunately, is to make themselves part of those groups. But I do believe those groups that are coming over, similar to the Haitians back in the day, who were looking for um, sanctions here, excuse me, looking for sanctuary here in the U.S., but were turned away, which is mind blowing to me. Um, I believe similar to those people, they are looking for sanctuary because of foul crap in their country. I do believe that, but I do believe that you have to be careful. So I do agree with this as to how we're screening these people, because yes, you could get terrorist people, or people who may not even be terrorists, who they might be from that country, but use those people in order to do something because they got their kid from traveling over here or whatever. So there could be some bad things, but I do believe we do need to do something about our border security. I'm 100% in agreement, all around the U.S. But I think that the route in which he really wants to take, I don't know if that's the actual correct route. But I can tell you, I've been down to the border, and there are some new facilities going up that I can tell are multi-million dollar facilities. I just came from, what's the name of that city? Give me a minute. I can't remember the name of the city. I can't remember the name of the city. Hold on. Let's see if I have it up here. I can't remember. See, I thought I had it up here. I gotta find my book. I went to a city to pick up watermelons. I can't remember the name of the city, but I went past Border Patrol, and they have a new. It's state of the art. You can look at it. It's state of the freaking art. They've got set in the ground concrete. Usually you have to drive through. They have to put it out there. This is set up already that when the cars pass through it, it's X-raying them. It's some state of the art shiznit. They have bays for trucks and bays for cars, which are going to be inspection bays. It's very obvious what's about to happen, and it's going to be pretty damn intense when you get down in those border areas. So there's some stuff taking place, but I do believe that we're being divided enough to where you are going to have to be concerned, and we might be infiltrated if we don't focus in the right way. Yeah, he's been saying that, Autry, that he was going to close the border for some time. Um, we have to be careful. Like I said, my problem is that we're being focused in so many different directions that I don't think we're nearly focused on the right big picture. So right now we're focused on the people immigrating coming in from other countries, because they're having, unrest in their country, and they're looking for sanctuary here in the U.S. I do agree with him. We're not the only country that should be able to help out. Mexico should be able to take some people, possibly Canada and some of these other countries, if this is what's truly happening, if they're having an issue in their country. Um, but my problem is that I believe, because he lies a lot. Like my father like I was with two grown little boys. He lies a lot. He embellishes a lot. So, but the problem is his lies take you and distract you in different directions. That's what I'm saying. Our picture, our issue, which is where I am agreeing with you, that we need to be cognizant, is going to be on what's outside coming in from countries such as Russia, North Korea, any country that doesn't, Saudi Arabia, any country that may want to. America's a powerhouse. This is where the whole problem is. We've always been a powerhouse. We've always held a very strong political standing. We've always been a very respected country because of that. That's gone down. But if you can knock out the powerhouse, then you can position yourself to do what the hell you want to do. And if you could knock the powerhouse coming at us with the war, like I was around when the wall was up, when they called it the wall. The Soviet Union had the wall, and what they call the Cold War. I was up during that. I was around during that time, and I was around that wall that separated, where people would lose their lives trying to escape Russian control, Soviet Union control, trying to cross that wall. I was around during that time. So I remember when the wall first came down and what that symbolized. And what that symbolized was, it symbolized a fall of a communist mindset that didn't work. And we now have to bring in some of the democratic, liberal thought process, because this is not working in our country more, because our people are fed up. And that's the wall came down. And it symbolized the falling of a political mindset that Soviet Union had, Russia, Soviet Union. But I believe that certain people in that group were still pissed off. So now they've come with a strategic, hey, Alpha Brain, they've come with a strategic mindset to come in. And that's where things are going to get bad, in my opinion. So we need to look different. But as far as the racial divide that's going on right now, yes, it's gotten worse, but we no longer could leave that jacked up discriminatory mindset under the carpet. It needs to be dealt with. And to NATO's point, I exist. I'm not dumb. I'm not stupid. Yes, I'm of African American descent. This is my skin color. This is my ethnicity. I bring some things to the table. So either you accept that, or you need to grow up, because we're here. And that's the problem is that you don't want me here because of my skin color, or you want me to diminish, meaning to take a lesser role, like yes, a master role, because of my ethnicity. No. And it will do our country a disservice. African Americans, we did a lot for this country, from the blood transfusion to, was it Carter and the peanut? There's so much that we've done. What's her name was in it? The lady, she plays Cookie. Forgot her name. And she played, they played the scientist that helped with the trip to the moon. We've done a lot. But you want me to diminish? You want me to be still less than you because you're worried about a majority being the majority? You're no longer the majority in number, but you are Taraji P. Henson. You're no longer the majority in number. And so, but what we can do is we can be people and say we're Americans. We can get the frick along, and we can stand up for this country we live in, However, our history is, even though it's twisted, even though it's sick, even though it was demented, at the end of the day, there are Native Americans who are American. There are African Americans who came from Africa or descendancy from slaves and now we're mixed with all sorts of stuff, who are here in America, known as African Americans. There are Asian Americans. Some of them come from when Pearl Harbor was bombed and the Japanese were put in camps because they didn't know whether or not they could trust them. And they put these people in in America, concentration camps. We've all paid our dues at least some of our ancestry has, in a very questionable time without in America's history. And people in power and how they handled it was sometimes extremely disgusting. But we're now at a point where we need to move past that and we need to understand, what are we first? We're Americans. When the World Trade Center blew up, who cared about color? Did anybody care? I didn't give a damn about color. I was pissed the frick off. Who you were hurt because of the lives of Americans, whether they were black, whether they were white, whether they were Latino. They flew a plane into our country. They took out our building. They took out some of our innocent people who were simply going to work to live their life on our land from some other damn country. You know what? I'm pissed the hell off. I didn't care what nationality they were. I was hurt, devastated, saddened. We need to get back to that attitude to understand that's who we are as a country. And this racial dumbass bullshit, which is dumb. It's the whole racial stuff is dumb. There's only one race. It's called a human race. We are a group of ethnic people from all different backgrounds. How we got here, some of it wasn't pretty, but it's how we got here. And if we go to the Bible, y'all know I use the Bible. We go to the Bible and we look at what happened to the Hebrews Jews. They ended up in Egypt due to a famine. Later on, Pharaoh didn't even remember them, and he enslaved them because they were growing so well. He became intimidated by the number of them in what was originally his country, and originally where he was the majority. And now, because of how well this group of Hebrews was growing populace-wise, he became fearful, and they enslaved them in order to keep them down. Sound familiar? But it was somebody from their people that years before had saved the lives of not only the Egyptian, but countless other peoples from different areas of the world. We have to be very careful. And we need to get caught up in something different on our mindset. And that doesn't matter what nationality, ethnicity you are. We need to look through some different other damn glasses. And once we do, then as we start looking around this world, we then will start understanding the things that we need to do, because then we'll be awake enough. Because right now I think a lot of people are asleep. We'll be awake enough to make the right decisions. Right now we're sleeping on a lot of stuff. Let me go read some comments. Oh, I'm not little quiet. I'm not doubting that there might be ISIS folks in there. I as I said, it would be the most ingenious way to filter in. I mean, what they just had the bombing overseas during the Easter. Right. Actually, that's what I feel. I feel it's a distraction. Some of what he brings up is a distraction from what's really going on. Thank you, Alpha Brain. Right. We hold on. Yeah, they'll talk about petrol and iron skillet. Them white folks will say what the hell they feel. They basically feel like, I guess what they I guess if you say something as a black person, that they're gonna get up and whoop your ass because they they don't give a damn. They be saying some stuff, and I be looking at the brothers. I'm like, I'm not as a woman gonna get up there, and even though I'm fat and big, I got a limp now. I might be able to whoop your ass with a cane. I got my cane over here. Like I said, you feel me? We gonna be tussling, but I know I'm a woman. I ain't stupid. You gonna remember me, but I might not win that fight because you have a male or female. But some of the white guys up in here, I'm like, that's like when I went in here to eat. I went on the restaurant side. I was the only one of my nationality in there, and I could tell they kind of looked. Some of the little white ladies looked, and then some of the little white couples. I guess they saw me there, and they wanted to be kind and speak and kind of probably be as liberal as they can be here in Wisconsin. And they spoke, and one guy came back and asked me what I was eating, and he said, "Hey," he said, "What?" I said, "I was looking at your steak. That's a big steak. What cut?" Because I did a T-bone, and came back, but you can tell and you can feel that you're very rare in certain environments. But my view has been, unless I walk in there and I feel a really heavy, like, you ain't supposed to be here because we're going to kill your ass if you don't get up out of here, then I go on and sit down at the table because my money is green just like anybody else's. My card swipes just like everybody else's. So, no, I'm going to eat. I'm going to do that. And I'm not saying that I don't think that the things going on the border, I think it's an issue. I also believe we need something done, and it might be the wall. I'm not going to ever argue with that. But I think that we're looking at a group of people based on discriminatory issues. So here's my spiritual view. Y'all know I'm going to talk spiritual view. I believe, as I said, the Bible tells us God places kings. So I do believe that God put Trump in that position. Not a doubt in my mind. While people may not like him for certain reasons, I see a lot of other pictures why he's in office. So, spiritual hat on. #MeToo came into place because of some of the stuff with Trump. Some of the things he said regarding females. And all of a sudden, you had him and then some of the things that were going on within the background of media. Because now we have all these powerful men who treat women like crap. Okay, or feel as if they are, and I'm gonna say powerful men, loosely powerful grown males, and they do all this other stuff. We had things going on in the football community. We have Trump now in office. We have things going on in the actors, producers industry where you found out people are being raped. We got the Bill Cosby situation. We have all this stuff now bubbling to the surface. Let me explain something. Bible tells you there's nothing new under the sun. This is not happening for no reason. It's happening for a purpose. Okay? You cannot, if you let things stay under the carpet, they'll never dealt with. A family will, like how some of what I share with my family. If you don't deal with your issues, they just keep rolling generations until somebody in the family decides to do something different, until somebody speaks against it, until somebody starts praying against it and say, God, I want these generational curses because I acknowledge them broken over my life and over the future generations' life. That's when things change. Otherwise, the cycle just keeps going and it usually worsens. Okay? So we have that coming out of it. We have the racial issue that has come up out of it that we did not expect. So we have the low view of women. We have that coming out. We also have the moral sexual issues in America that have busted up to the surface. Hey, Trucking in Heels. Welcome to the channel. Thank you. And to the live. We have all of that has come to the surface, okay? So we have #MeToo. So you got your molest victims, incest, rape, sexual perversions on the job, sexual discrimination on the job, and we say women, but there's men this happens to too. Granted, that's a smaller populace, but that movement also can impact them. Granted, we're seeing it greater in numbers for women. We have the moral and sexual perversion of Trump coming out. We have the lying. People were happy he's a businessman. It was funny to me. Oh, he's not a politician. He's a businessman. What the hell's wrong with you? Business has a ton of politics, sometimes even dirtier. That's why he is doing what business does. In white America, how business works is If you get behind whoever's in charge's vision, you're a queen or a king, and you're going to go far there, son. That's how America business works. Even if you know that the person in charge is a dumbass or an asshole, but you want to keep getting a paycheck or get boosted up the ranks, you may get behind some BS. I'm just saying. So we're seeing how American business works, but nobody wants to admit that because we're caught up in the trivial BS of what's going on. It's a bigger spiritual picture going on here. He's narcissistic. He's self-centered. Aren't we almost the same thing? This might be a little narcissistic right here. Posing for selfies, show you my booty, I can twerk, doing all this stuff. And it's about you in order to get attention. Grumpy, that's what Grumpy, I tell Grumpy Smurf, you and your little brother Trump. They're very similar in nature. My father's a narcissist. His whole life is about him. Big pictures of himself. Trump sat at a table with a poster of himself on his table of a book that's narcissistic. But he's not the only one. We've got a society full of people who are narcissistic. It's all about us. So we're not acknowledging something spiritual called God, or the God who created the universe. We kicked him to the curb. So it's all about us. He's given us a president who is exactly like us. Pervy, got the whole sexual stuff going on. Narcissistic, it's all about us. Lies, a lot of people do that in order to get what they want, get where they want, embellish who they are, seem better than what they are. Come on. What's the other thing he does? Manipulative. You got to follow and get behind my dream for me to help promote you to anything. Everything he's doing is a direct reflection of the current climate of our country. Racial issues, we've had racial issues for years, we just ain't never dealt with them. After Martin and Malcolm died and we got rid of Jim Crow laws, and you could get a job, get some money, and put a suit on and drive a fancy car, sing a song, shake your ass on stage and make some money, then play some basketball, hoops, whatever. Granted, we overcame a lot, but once you did that, that became the ideal, is to idolize materialism instead of getting some mental freedom in trying to do something else. We are getting an example of exactly who we are as a country. And it's sitting, God gave us. And he put a guy up in there who is a good reflection of most of us, regardless of your nationality. And whether you like it, lump it, or love it, it is what it is. And there's spiritual reasons, because I really believe that we need this in order to wake up. And if we don't, we are going to have to answer for some serious, we're going to come under a very unique judgment. And we've got to wake up spiritually. But right now, we're so subdued by this over here. The Bible says it's the little foxes that spoil the vine. We're looking at all the little itty bitty bull crap. And it says it spoils the vine, I mean, it kills the vine, because you're so caught up in the little things that you're not seeing the big picture. And the picture is much bigger. So it's the little foxes. It's those little things that will ruin, because you're so focused on focus here and focus there, that you're not focused at what's going on overall. And that's what's spoiling everything right now, because there's a bigger thing behind this. A lot of it's even spiritual. We need to get repentant. We need to, I hate to say it, I'm Christian. We need to get back into I do believe our country was founded on some very strong Christian principles. I'm not trying to decline, because there's people in here probably of other religious belief systems. But the one thing America does give you is you do have the right to believe what you want to believe. But the fundamental undertone of America was Christian. It might not have been handled well in slavery and some other things, but Christianity across the world has not always done good things. So, in the name of Christianity, don't always mean it was Christian. So let's go on and go there. But we need to get back to some fundamental principles. And like I said, Bible tells us God places kings. He put that man in that grown male in that position for a reason. And if we don't wake up and see the bigger picture, because when I started looking, I'm like, this man is a direct reflection of our moral status right now. And we are foul. America is foul overall. Morally, That's why he can sit there and talk about grabbing a woman in the pussy. Is that anything unusual? We watch videos with people twerking and shaking and stripping and doing stuff. Yet he gets up there and talk, and we're shocked. Why are we shocked? We've been watching it on TV. We idolize it. We idolize hip hop stars and R&B stars and pop stars who do this. It used to be that to be a stripper was not considered a really good career choice. Now that's a queen that can get your money, girl. You got to. She trying to go to college. Please. There were certain professions that were looked down upon because they weren't the most, and for years now we glorify them. There's a lot going on, and we've got, like I said, we've got a lot of issues, and we have not, as a country. He's representing a lot of that. It has to happen on a prophetic level, way in which the country and the world has to go to, the world in general. And we're getting there. We're going down the rabbit trail. But if people aren't awake, God bless them. God bless you. You better be awake to what's going on. It's a bigger picture going on. And that's how I look at it, as a much bigger picture. Anyway, y'all, it is 1 hour 17 minutes. I got to get to bunk. And I was just shooting the shiz on here. Again, welcome to the new people that joined the live. We'll be doing more lives once I get back home, get AT&T on. I'll be doing some subject videos. And I also thank any of you who are going over to the Trucker 411. We've had an increase in joining on the Facebook page. If you do join, I do want to say, make sure you answer the questions, because we only approve if you answer those questions. If you don't answer the questions, we will decline your membership over there. It's because we want to make sure that we're getting people who are interested in trucking in some form or fashion. So while I understand my channel is probably opening up to some other areas, and I might not have all people in here for trucking, because I will talk about, I get on my little thing and I'll talk about other subjects. And we'll do a Grumpy Smurf update when I get back to Lubbock. I'll do some stories on him, because he's back to talking about he's broke and he can't pay for his meds and just craziness. And we'll talk about that, because I think he's trying to manipulate money out of me. I'm not doing it. To let you stay in your dumb foolishness. So if you want to sit in your house and smell like piss, give it all you got. I'm not going to help you smell like piss and stay in your house smelling like piss. But you guys be blessed. We do need to pray for our country. We need to pray for that man sitting in that office, that grown male. And we need to pray that God is going to do something much more powerful with our country, and that we actually wake up and not get caught up in the divide, all the different divides, from politics to racial stuff, of what's going on politically. Is really an economic thing. And that's another thing people aren't saying. It's economic, and it's really not about even white or black. It's about people with money and power still being in a position of control. So, you guys just pray that God will peel back your eyes so you can see what's really going on. And it's hard to put it into verbal words. I do agree that you do need to be prepared for some things that might be bad that happen in the country. But I don't think they're going to happen. I think they're going to come from external forces that are overseas, as we stand divided against each other. And the sad part is, if we're not on our Shiznit, we're going to realize too late. And by that time, we're already going to be hit with some stuff we didn't expect, because we weren't prepared for it, because we were too busy chasing money. We're too busy trying to be, popular and look a certain way in people's eyes. We're too busy getting caught up in stuff that's stupid instead of getting caught up in stuff that's meaningful. So we need to look through some different glasses. But anyway, y'all, I want you to be blessed tonight. Be safe if you're out here on the roads. I'm going to be doing a video about the giveaway. I'm going to be doing a giveaway every night, every other night. Matter of fact, I might use it in a few minutes. And it doesn't have to only be used on a truck. You could use it in an office. You can use it. So if you're a teacher, you could use it in your classroom. You could use it at home if you want. You can use it on a camping trip. No, it's not a porta john. Um, you can use it in any fat. It's something that any human being can use. Let's put it like that. So I'm not gonna say what it is, but it'll be a giveaway. And actually, I'm gonna pick it up when I get back to Lubbock. I do get them from Wally World. I need to get another one for the truck because I need to get another one. I'm get another one just a backup set. But you guys will see it, and that's what I'm gonna get. So everybody have a great night. I'm gonna give Jose a call here in a second because he's driving. Obviously, if he jumped in here, he's probably driving or getting ready to drive. Um, and then got to talk to Joe tomorrow and kind of give my condolences and be a friend and listen to whatever he's going through because I know he's probably depressed about losing his sister. He's lost quite a few. I mean, they lost the brother-in-law. He just lost a nephew to cancer. Um, he's had a lot, and then his little brother who has Downs, who's 50, he's about or 49, a year younger than me. He had, major surgery, and he's not able to walk right now. He's in a wheelchair, but they've taught him, even with the Down syndrome, how to get in and out the chair. So there's just some bigger things that are going on, and we need to look through different glasses, and we can come in a much more positive light. What I'm gonna tell you, don't get caught up in the rhetoric. Stand back, and as you're listening to Trump, as you're listening to the news media, as you're reading what's going around, what you need to say is, God, open my eyes. Show me what you want me to see out of this and what I need to do different. And I think if we start doing that, we will see some changes in our country and in our politics. But right now, America's so narcissistic and caught up in her own self and our own arrogance of our own wealth. Even the poorest among us are better than in some of the third world countries. We got to see it's a bigger picture, a much bigger picture. If you watch the video, please give me a like, thumbs up, subscribe, and share it out. I want you guys to have a blessed night.